Yo, what's going on? Welcome into the show. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. By the time that you're watching this video, you're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Senior. Coming up, taking questions from the Bird Gang and talking all things Eagles, because that's what we do here on this show every single day, year round. And that is exactly why you should subscribe to the channel. If you love the Eagles and you want to be informed by all of the news and storylines that are developing around this football team, I always have you covered. Short form content, long form content, news, rumors, developments, draft content, free agency, live shows, watch parties. We're killing the game, and that's a big reason why we're closing in on 140,000 subscribers. Let's begin here with this $20 super chat from the legend, Dennis Designs. I love the positive thoughts, but if we don't beat the Raiders, it will be by far the worst season I've ever seen. Oh, and I sent you the t-shirt today. I hope you get it soon. I always love when viewers send Chip and I gifts. We really appreciate that. And if you send us gear, we always rock it on the show like we've done with Hallelujah, others, and Dennis. I'll do that as well and give you a shout out. And what Dennis is talking about with me being positive about this team, I did come away from that Chargers loss after looking at the tape, letting things marinate, watching the game back, a little bit encouraged by what the Eagles did on the offensive side of the ball. Nick Sirianni was more involved. He had more say. And we saw some new concepts, some new play designs, some new creativity. And this Eagles offense finally looked like a modern unit. And now, I don't want to say the Eagles get scared off of what they did against the Chargers just because Jalen Hurts had those 5 turnovers. Let him work through these issues. It's time for him and the offense to adapt and evolve. I think that you can build off of the foundation that you built against the Chargers, continue to roll with that experiment for the final 4 weeks, and if you drop 30-plus points against the Raiders, and you've got some style points, I think what's most important is the Eagles can get their confidence back, which on offense right now, they do not have. Christopher, $5 super chat. Chase, I am a homer, or am I a homer? Or has the officiating been consistently bad for the Eagles? It's so funny because in covering the NFL and in watching so much football, whether it be the NFL or college football, go on Twitter, right? And one fan base will hate the officiating. Usually they're losing. The other fan base will love the officiating and they're winning. I never will blame officiating for a win or a loss, because it really does go both ways throughout the course of a ball game. As frustrated as I was about the James Bradbury hold in Super Bowl 57, the game didn't just come down to that. Now it hurt because I think if the Eagles got the ball back, Jalen Hurts could have led the Eagles down the field for a drive that could have won them the ball game. If you hold Kansas City to 3 points there, I think Philadelphia wins. And we're talking about the 2-time Super Bowl champion, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni-led Eagles, and the 3-time Eagles as an organization. But the game didn't just come down to that holding call. Patrick Mahomes had 1 incompletion in the second half. It was on a throwaway. Jonathan Gannon was too busy trying to get that Cardinals gig that he clearly wasn't prepared for the Chiefs. He got pantsed by Andy Reid and Mahomes in the second half. Special teams. The Eagles had multiple breakdowns. They couldn't really cover some of those goal line plays where there were the whip routes that Andy Reid called. Jalen Hurts fumbled. Scoop and score led to a touchdown. Quez Watkins should have caught that ball downfield. So many reasons why the Eagles lost that game. So I think to start the year, maybe the Eagles had the benefit of the whistle, but against the Chargers, against the Bears, against the Cowboys, I don't think any of those games really came down to officiating. I know the Cowboys had the benefit of the whistle against Philly and Kansas City as far as like penalty yardage. I do think some of the PIs on Trent McDuffie were questionable. The only bad call that I can remember this year is that late hit for Zach Bond against the Broncos, which helped the Broncos like kind of ice that game. Eagles could have like forced a 4th down there instead. The Broncos got a freebie, but I think the officiating's been fine. Mike Nintendo Master, what I see I dropped in the rankings. I've given up on trying to convince you otherwise, Mike. So you can do whatever you want, man. What changes and lessons need to be learned from Monday's game? It's a good question, Mike. Lessons learned. The Eagles' defense is Super Bowl caliber, and it's a shame that it's getting wasted by this offense. On offense, I think Philadelphia needs to get back to trying to establish the run, be a more balanced offense. Don't force feed A.J. Brown the ball. Find ways to get Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert involved, especially with Smitty. Like, can we call some crossers? Can we call some routes downfield instead of bubble screens? He's one of the best route runners in all of football. I think that we learned that the Eagles are capable of being more creative and innovative on offense. Nick Sirianni had more say in the game plan. I like some of the concepts that we saw from Philadelphia. But I do think two things are a constant that are going to hold this team back: the offensive coordinator and the offensive line. And I don't think the offense is going to reach its ceiling, especially with how bad the offensive line has been. I think that unit is what it is. They've regressed, they've been hurt, and in turn, they've been bad. The Thunderhounds, hey, Chase, I believe Jalen is struggling due to an unhealthy offensive line, Kevin's bad coaching, and a little bit of A.J. Brown drama. I think you're right on all of those fronts from a macro level, right? The offensive line has been bad all year. The Eagles have not been able to run the football efficiently or successfully. Saquon Barkley has 2 games over 100 yards. I think he looks great. But I think that the offensive line continues to get pushed back, put on their asses, and bullied. And that's led to Saquon Barkley not even having chances when he gets the ball. And when you can't run the ball, it doesn't open up the pass game. When you can run the ball, it does open up the pass game. I think the pass protection for the most part all year has not been good. I don't think that Kevin Patullo has done a good job of maximizing or elevating Jalen Hurts. I think his play calling has been predictable, vanilla. There's no rhythm. There's no feel. There's no sequencing to it. And I think that from an offensive standpoint, the Eagles are targeting A.J. Brown too much. And by force-feeding him the ball, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, who are great players, aren't involved as much. So I think this is also a thing. The Eagles, they were getting ripped for being conservative. Well, now Jalen Hurts is pressing a little bit. He's been more aggressive. What's it led to? 7 turnovers in the last 2 games. When they take care of the ball, they're really hard to beat. That might have to be the formula. Today's Philadelphia Eagles Now mailbag, sponsored by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Producer Chip runs our Sixers channel, so you'll notice that the code is Sixers Chat, but DraftKings Sportsbook. You got to sign up today, #1 sportsbook in the game, and listen to what Chip has to say right here.
We're only a few weeks in, and the NBA season is already wild. Stars are going off, rookies are making noise, and the action doesn't stop. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is where you can get in on all of it. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, bet just $5 and get $200 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Chips picks. Let's take a look. Bills -1.5 on the road against the Patriots. Chargers money line on the road against the Chiefs. Broncos money line against the Packers. I like that because Denver underdogs in that game. Odds and lines subject to change. Bet $5. Get $200 if you win by using that code Sixers Chat. Cool Rains. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Supporting the show from Australia. The Down Under. G'day, mate. If we lose to the, I hope we don't, Raiders. Wait. If we lose to the Raiders, okay, I see what you're saying. If we lose to the Raiders, I hope we don't. But if we do, will they finally fire Kevin Patullo? Man, let's say the offense sputters. They score 10 points, and Eagles fans are going ballistic. The boo birds are out. the chants of fire Kevin are on and echoing throughout the link, that you can hear it from Center City, from South Philly. I think Nick Sirianni will have to make a change with 3 games to go for the Eagles to try to salvage their season. He might be your boy. Might have to make a move, though. Andrew Nathan. Were we going back and forth on Twitter a little bit earlier today, Andrew? I love the profile picture. Ski Mask Cowie. I think you're taking out of context what I've said about Jalen. But here's what Andrew has to say about Jalen. Jalen hasn't played well recently. However, you don't bench your Super Bowl MVP starter. We like the idea of Tanner McKee, but Jalen is the better player. MVP season in 2022, played well in 2023, Super Bowl MVP in 2024. So I don't think he played well in 2023. He was the MVP runner-up in 2022. I think he would have won the MVP if he didn't hurt his shoulder against Chicago. And last year, it was definitely up and down. But then he won the Super Bowl MVP in 2024. I think a lot of what people don't talk about is how Jalen Hurts has had like 10 different play callers over the last 10 years going all the way back to Alabama. When we talk about a quarterback struggles, shouldn't we discuss that? That he's had no continuity at offensive coordinator? That can lead to struggles in play. Every year there's a different voice in his head. Now, I do think that Hurts has some limitations, but obviously he has a lot of strengths. What I think the Eagles should do and are going to do, work through the kinks with Jalen. I thought he made some nice plays against the Chargers. I thought he made some nice throws. I like some of the concepts in the play calls. Let him work through this stretch right now. He's still in his prime. It's not like he's washed. And let's see if he can get out of it. And if he can't get out of it this year, bring in a legit OC next year. And if Jalen Hurts plays well, fantastic. If he doesn't play well next year with a really good offensive coordinator, then you start to worry a little bit. But the best security that you can have as an organization is quarterback security. I think Tanner McKee can be a really good player in this league. He throws with great touch, timing, anticipation. He can layer throws in there. He has excellent size at 6'6". Am I saying that Hurts should get benched? No. But what I think the Eagles should do is make a decision by the end of next year who's going to be the quarterback moving forward. If Hurts plays well, obviously it's him. If he doesn't play well, then you start to have that conversation because McKee will be a free agent after the 2026 season. But we're far away from that. Niles Productions, what do you think about Kenny Pickett most likely starting for the Raiders? Yeah, Geno Smith has a shoulder injury. He had hurt his hand last week in that game too, so he's banged up. It's going to be between 20 and 30 degrees at Lincoln Financial Field, the early forecast. If Kenny Pickett beats this team with a glove on and he carves this defense up, which is actually the bright spot of this team, and this offense continues to blow, full panic mode, season's over. Can't lose to Kenny Pickett and this Raiders team that has lost 8 games in a row, and I think right now they are the worst team in football. Trey Losada, who is one AFC team that you think has a lot of potential. I think the scariest team in the AFC right now is the Houston Texans. I think their defense is the best in football. I think they're slightly better than Denver's defense because they force more turnovers. If that offense can be a little bit better, I think Houston's really scary because that Super Bowl defense is ready to win a Super Bowl right now. Denver, kind of in that same spot. Great defense. Quarterback, been spotty. I do think Bo Nix has been better this year than C.J. Stroud. I don't think Buffalo's defense is good enough. And with where they are now, they're not going to win the division. So playing in Buffalo, Josh Allen has this crazy winning streak in December and January in Buffalo, but they might have to go on the road in the playoffs. Jacksonville's a 3 seed, don't buy them. Pittsburgh 4 seed, don't buy them. Yeah, I think Houston's the scariest team right now in the AFC. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, which is why it's frustrating, by the way, that the Eagles suck so bad this year, because if they were playing their best ball, they'd be the clear favorites to win the Super Bowl. Hopefully they can get it together with 4 games left. Hit that sub button for elite daily Birds coverage. I love all of you, even the haters. Thanks for watching.